Sam from Offline Campers here. Today we're doing a walkthrough of the Solitaire. The heart and soul of the Solitaire is outback touring with a real amount of comfort. So if you want to go through the Red Centre or through the Kimberleys or chase your way through national parks up the East Coast, this is the trailer for you with no compromise, air conditioning every day and a hot shower every morning. It's amazing. Come have a look. All right, so first thing setting up any of our trailers is we'll always have a discussion about which way is the wind coming, where's the campfire going to be, slope of the ground, the sunset, all that sort of stuff. That generally takes longer than most of our setups, especially on the Solitaire here. But first things first, jockey wheel, we'll level front to back using the jockey wheel. So that is the same as any other trailer that you've seen. All of our trailers airbag suspension is standard, and so left to right leveling after that. On the Solitaire, it's in this door here, and so it's as simple as just leveling the trailer, spirit level on the front to give you a bit of a judgment as to what the right level is. Once you're happy with the level, stabilize the legs on the back. And so I've already clicked this one down. I left my drill on the other side, so just pause 1 second. Back. Both sides. The legs are definitely not designed to lift the trailer. It's more just like take a bit of the wind shake out of it, and that's really about it. While we're setting up, I'll do this in the Solitaire, and Jenna will worry about the roof and the ensuite. But Domino and Raker, you have to do this before we get into the opening process. Now we've leveled the trailer, straight into opening. As I said before, you can definitely do this while the trailer is being leveled. We're fully independent of the ground. So very first thing, undo the ensuite and the roof. I'll just pop around the other side and do the other ones. If it was raining, this is the only bit that you have to do outside. You can do the rest of everything that I'm about to do from inside. So opening the door, and just inside is our roof controls and ensuite controls. So I could step inside, shut the door behind me if it was pouring with rain, and do all of this from inside. Our general camping is I'm like mucking around with legs at the moment, leveling the trailer. Jenna's doing this and she'll do the toilet afterwards, which I'll do. You can do both jobs sort of in parallel, and it makes the whole setup really, really fast. So ensuite's fully down, roof's fully up. I'd already opened the door here. The last thing to do to set up all of this is the roof pole, which is as difficult as that. Normally this door would be shut and I would step through the inside. I'll just climb up today. And toilet module comes out. If you can open up a fridge slide outside, you can do this. So it is just 2 slides and then electric down. It is intended so that if this thing is full, someone with a bad back can do this very easily. And that's it. That's the whole ensuite setup. Roof's up. You could step inside on a rainy night and spend the evening inside easily. So I've quickly swapped over onto a production Solitaire just to demonstrate a few changes that we've made from the production ones and some of the videos that's out there already. We've changed the doors so that there's a fly screen here, and you could just open the canvas a little bit. And so because you're higher, I could be showering and you're not going to see me other than my head. So you have a fair bit of privacy and a lot of airflow. I'll quickly open this so you can see fully. There is a fly screen behind that, but I already opened it just so you can see. There you go, there's the fly screen. One of the coolest things about Solitaire is fully separate shower on this side. We've now got this new shower curtain. It does a very good job of keeping all the water on one side. So you can shower in here, wash your hair, blah, 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 mix a tap. We have a shampoo and conditioner holder as well that go in here, so then everything's just always ready to go. Drainage through the floor, and a fully separate toilet. I'm not a massive fan of showering over the top of the toilet, so we have toilet here, laundry hamper that goes behind it. Clearly neither of them are installed on this one. But we also have magnetic doors through to the main cabin, so for us with our teenage twin girls, we can be inside, they can step in here, have a bit of privacy, have a shower and get changed. And they've got their own space. They're not cuddled in this like tiny little room. Drainage for the water, we just hook up a hose, run it into the bushes. We have options for grey water tanks and stuff like that for areas that you have to do it. But the primary method is like run the water off into the bushes. Diesel hot water is standard on these trailers, so you've always got hot flowing water here. I can shower in 5 litres. My girls have learnt to shower in 7 litres of water, including washing their hair, which I think is pretty good for 14-year-old girls. All right, so now we've got the ensuite set up. Obviously the next thing will be awning and kitchen in my mind. Standard on the Solitaire is the 270-degree awning. I'll quickly set it up and then we'll talk about why the 270 versus like roll-out awning, pros and cons very quickly, that sort of thing. And there we go, with a tiny little bit of movie magic, quickly opened up the awning, straight into the kitchen. Don't need a leg on our kitchen at all, it's self-supporting. You could put 100 kilos of stuff on there, fall and catch your arm on it at the same time, and it will take the weight. And then behind here is our fridge. The reason why I like the 270, and it's the standard on the trailer, is the shade and the space right here. Fully covers the fridge, whereas any of those like the rollout style, while we can go electric and make the setup really easy, the amount of shade and protection you have around your cooking area and this outdoor living area is, I think it's second to none with the 270 awning, to be honest with you. I prefer one with legs, so that if it was a little bit windy and you didn't have your guide rope down, you notice that it's windy because this starts lifting off the ground a little bit, and you just put your guide rope down and it's very, very obvious. With a legless one, at some point you'll be like, oh, it's windy, and it snaps itself off the trailer. So this is the standard offering. It's really nice under here. Induction cooking, gas is standard, induction is an upgrade on any of our trailers. Hot and cold water, everything is plumbed through. We even plumb gas through. Not many people plumb gas through, it's hard to do. If you do it right, it's legal, and it's one less thing to set up when you're camping. Storage within the trailer. Drawer on the end, we put bowls and plates in here. Utensils here, cutlery in there. Another little hidey hole for dishwashing liquid, maybe your roll of paper towel, that sort of thing. And then one of my favorite features is our pantry. Everyone opens it to there and goes, that's a really big pantry, but then they don't realize that like it just keeps going. So food for a couple of weeks in here. We'll camp in this for 2 or 3 weeks with a family of 5. And so if it's just 2 of you, if it's 5 of you, you've got heaps of space. 95 litre fridge is standard. The Dometic is standard. We can fit an Engel in here, we can fit an Evercool, we can fit the ARB fridge in here. I like the Dometic one. It packages really nicely and it's got dual zone, so you can just switch one half off when you don't want it. And the last bit of storage before we do a little cut is pots and pans in here. You can get to this from inside the camper trailer. So you could treat the back half as like a bedside table or something like that, put a few personal belongings in there, maybe a nip of port or something like that. But you can get to that from behind the bed head without getting out of bed. Yeah, that's the kitchen. All right, so I've swapped over to the 16 just because there's a few more things to show on this one. After the kitchen here, that's the kitchen that we were just mucking around with on the 14. So behind here, door number 2, is a little optional sneaky travel buddy oven. And so heat up a pie, cook a lasagna while you're traveling, like really, really nice. 16's got a little extra storage area that you wouldn't find on the 14. This is one of the areas on the outside of the trailer that the 2 feet come from. Nice little spice rack, or you can put whatever you like in that little area there. Above the wheel arch here, we've got another shelf. This was actually born from when we were camping years ago on a soft floor camper trailer. We used to knock my beer over every single time we set up. And so I'm like, I want to have a shelf that I can put my beer on and set up the trailer. And so that's what this is for. Put your beer there. If you're tidying up, somewhere to put it. Drinking water tap, 240 volt outlet. While we're here, we may as well talk about wheels and tyres. Every one of our trailers is matched to the tow vehicle. So this one, for example, this is matching a 200 series Land Cruiser. The 14 matches my 300 series. We'll do Prados and Rangers and most cars under the sun. Moving along a little bit, our main door has these nice little magnets that hold the door open so it doesn't flap in the wind. But it has this new little feature where we've got this inner door, security mesh there, that also holds open, and this just works seamlessly. And so that little door will just stay there. No catches or anything like that, it just works. And so that's security mesh, so you could go to the pub, lock it like this, and nobody can get inside, and you don't feel like you've left a window open. 3 nice latches on there to try and keep all the dust out. Some people say their trailers are dust proof. My view personally is if Toyota can't get their brand new Land Cruiser dust proof and they make 10 million vehicles a year, how are we supposed to get this dust proof? I'll say it's very, very good on dust. I've never once felt like there was dust on the bed or dust on my clothes. But if you look through like a really old one of our camper trailers, there's a little bit of dust behind the fridge, a little bit of dust behind the kitchen. Maybe that's from the fact that the kitchen's been open while you're camping. Maybe it's from traveling, you can't really tell, but there's not like a pile of it there. I hope that's honest enough. So like not dust proof, very, very good. As we come around the trailer, the front of the Solitaire here represents just one of the options that we have. All of these options go right across the range, so whether you're looking at a Raker, a Domino, a Rider, or one of our Solitaires. Here we've got large 400 litre toolbox, so this is the upgraded toolbox. ISI bike rack on the top. What's good to note is the bike rack goes over the top of the wood rack, and so we can have firewood and 2 or 4 bikes on the top. Gas bottle for your Weber Q on this trailer. Some of the new Max Trax light on the front, very cool by the way. And we do like an extended drawbar as well. So if you have a Prado or if you've got a ute where the tray overhangs the ball, this piece unbolts, we put a longer section in there and it just gives you a little bit more room behind the back and make sure you don't hit the tray on there. We do a few other options like motorbike on the front. If jerry cans are really important to you, 2 jerry cans with a slightly smaller box, we can definitely tailor this section to however you want. All right, so running down the driver's side of the trailer, the front door here, this is opposite the fridge on the other side. Big storage area, we put a Weber Q in there. If you get the right coffee machine, we used to squeeze a coffee machine and a grinder down the side of the Weber Q. Above it here, another drawer like the other side. At the moment I've got a drill in here for the legs, little step in case the ground isn't very complementary to the step on the other side. But we would put like laptop or a book or fly spray and Panadol, that sort of thing. Anything that you might want inside, because again, you can get to this drawer from inside. Diesel filling for your diesel heater is right here, so you can just fill it at the Bowser. Next door down, table storage. So any of those 4-foot fold-in half tables will fit in here. We just got the Darchie one in here. Table holder there. Next door down. I just call this the utility drawer. This is just a really good spot for anything heavy. So you could load this full of tools, like a heavy camp oven, anything like that. It's right in front of the axle. Doesn't affect your tow ball weight too much. If you don't option air conditioning in the Solitaire, this drawer, like the pantry, it just seems to keep on going because the aircon unit is actually on the other side under the bed. So this is the aircon variant and the other one is really long. Above it is airbag controls. As I continue to move back, this was a little hidey hole that I'm like, we've got to use this space for something. It is a really good spot for like a 10-meter hose and a 10-meter extension cord. You coil your extension cord up in the middle. Domino and Raker, we would put like a shower hose there as well because you've got an external shower. That would fit in there quite nicely. Fire extinguisher in the top as well fits really, really good. And then the last thing down the driver's side here, we've got 3 water tanks on the Solitaire, up to 315 litres of water. And so you've got a 60-litre drinking water tank here. That's got its whole own water system. So its own pump, its own lines, its own fillers, stainless steel water tank. And so if you put clean water in there, it should stay clean. Main tank, this is for like kitchen and shower, 150 litres there. So 60 litres at the front, 150 litres here. You could put bore water or like whatever random town you're in. Like you put Adelaide water in there, it's not that great. And then the last tank, optional 105 litre tank. Think of this as like just a second main tank. So you can do more showers, more dishes, that sort of thing. Again, you can cross connect between all of these tanks. Even in a caravan park, just plug your hose in, turn the pump off, and just shower for as long as the hot water service lasts. Okay, so now we're stepping into the Solitaire 14. It's not a massive space in here, but one of the things that makes it feel really big is the fact that we don't have a big ensuite in the corner. You've basically got the whole room. So it's designed so that I could sit here, like Jenna might be sitting on the chair next to me. We'll have a bit of dinner for 2 people, quite comfortably. I call this a 1.5 seater lounge, so it's like an adult and a small child. 2 adults is very cozy on there. There's a little seat on the side here, so I could just sit here and, you know, watch the cricket for a little bit or something like that. As I move down to the bed head, this is not going to be very elegant, so please forgive me. There's a really nice bed head down the end here. So imagine you're sitting here having yourself a cup of coffee, reading a book. I'm 6'1" and I've got like heaps of room, even if I sit up straight, like heaps of room. But it's really designed so that you could sit here, watch a movie on the TV, have a coffee in the morning, and you've just got this like feeling of space around you. It's very intentional to have the space behind here. This is where you'd access those drawers from above the fridge and down the driver's side. So that's where you'd get your Panadol and your book or something like that. But you've got this really cool space. Personally, I think that half the time that I spend in the trailer is probably in bed. The other half is like maybe sending an email or having a shower or something like that. So in the Solitaire, we've tried to make this space really nice and the ensuite really nice. So now I've clambered myself off the bed and swapped positions with the camera guy. So the first thing underneath the bed is all of our clothes storage. 2 massive drawers, one slightly smaller than the other, but we'll fit clothes for 5 people under there. If it's just the 2 of you, if you feel like you've got ample. One important thing to mention that I didn't mention earlier was mattress. I'm not a massive fan of the idea of like a crappy foam mattress or like a cheap inner spring mattress, and so our process, go to 40 Winks, choose a mattress. It's about as simple as that. We just fitted like one of those koala rollout ones. It's really choose your own adventure, so we've genuinely never had a complaint about mattress comfort. But now that we're talking about the interior, this is the area that the 16 and the 14 differ the most. And so the bed area, 14 and 16 are absolutely identical. Ensuite is exactly the same, and storage is almost identical on the outside. So, you know, you don't really need to show both. In here, this is the main difference. And so where I'm sitting, 1.5 seater, on a 16, this becomes a genuine 2-seater. And we'll have 2 people sitting here, both eating dinner on the table, one on the bed, and then one on the seat opposite as well. Where in the 14 here, it is definitely intended to be smaller. So you've got one sitting here, one on the bed. Quite comfortable. I do most of my camping outside, so I don't really feel like I need more space in here. That's the lounge area difference. But the other area is the cabinetry inside. And so if you are doing, say like a 1-year lap, or like living permanently in the trailer or something like that, bit more cabinetry means that we could install a full indoor kitchen inside the 16 if you needed to. And so with this being a little bit longer, we can go induction cooktop. We could go glass lidded sink, same as what we've got outside. We can go 50-litre stand-up fridge underneath, so you can stand up your bottle of milk. It just gives you more flexibility in terms of space. In the 14, this is really nice for like remote touring, something that you want to keep really light and really small. We've got everything that we need. In this drawer here, we'll have toiletries, maybe shampoo and stuff like that if you don't have the little holder inside the ensuite. On the other side, we have a little storage spot we put towels and linen, coffee machine stuff in there. The coffee machine is fastened down, and so my intention for our Solitaire was I wanted to get up in the morning, step directly through into the ensuite without going outside, have a shower, make a coffee, sit down, send an email or something, you know, do a bit of work, because that's what, you know, that's reality. And then you can pack it away. And at this point, I have not even been outside yet. You can get yourself dressed, all that sort of stuff, but you can really just like live in here a little bit. If it's a longer trip and you think there's going to be periods where you spend all day inside because of the weather, then 16 might be the one for you. If you're looking for like a little bit more maneuverability and slightly lighter, the 14 is fantastic in here. The one thing we haven't talked about is like power systems and stuff like that. I mentioned air conditioning before, so this trailer has air conditioning. Standard is 200 amp hours of lithium underneath my butt here in a sealed box, vented outside, so fully compliant with the new laws. But we upgrade from 200 to 400 or 600, and we've just developed with a battery company a 960 amp hour lithium battery inside. So if you are doing some like serious work, run the aircon for ages and don't want to really care about if you're in the shade or not, we can create some serious options in here for running off the battery. It's definitely a trailer that you can build it up the way that you like. It's electrically, you know, a bit crazy, or you can keep it nice and simple if you're a simple camper. The last thing is like stepping through to the ensuite. The ensuite, I wanted it to feel like it's outside the trailer, but it's also inside the trailer. And so is it an external ensuite or an internal ensuite? You can't really tell. So if I'm going to step through, I'm 6'1", I step through easily, have my shower, shut the door, do your business, and step back through again. It is a low door, but as you can see, stepping through is like, it feels like one extension of one room. Our girls will go in there and get changed while we're still in bed and things like that. There's plenty of space here, plenty of height. Someone that's 6'6" can live in this trailer quite easily. The only time they're going to feel like they touch the roof is as they're getting into bed, because that's the lowest point. It slopes down this way. But by that point, they're probably ducking down anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But someone that's 6'6" can stand here and make a coffee, or if you've got induction, cook your dinner. There's so many options in this area that we can configure this any way that you need. We're doing multiple drawers in the 16, stand-up fridges, microwaves. There's a lot of variation that can be had. Last thing is we're going to do a full pack up. You can see how long it genuinely takes. We'll set a little timer. Just watch me do the whole thing in one take. That was just the toilet going away inside. As you can see, there is not much to hide there. I paused, I went inside for a little bit, did the toilet. That's probably the slowest part, is the toilet, it feels like. So now it's just like legs, straps away, and we're done. Off we go.